As most of you may already know, or maybe you personally feel this as the owner and operator of an e-commerce brand, over the past year and going into 2025, growing your e-commerce store online has gotten extremely difficult. Ad costs are rising. There's so many channels to look at in terms of how you can market to your customers and how you can drive revenue to your store. So today we're going to dive into the number one channel that consumer brands spent the most money on by far in 2024, how you can take advantage of that for yourself, and some things we're already learning in 2025 that most brands overlook when it comes to getting new customers and driving new sales. So let's dive in. Now, who am I? Hopefully I earn your trust through this training right now. I'm just going to give you very raw my experience in managing ad accounts of all different sizes and what me and my team are currently doing to grow e-commerce stores specifically on Shopify this year and what's working for them. So I've been on the brand side, I've been on the agency side. I've worked for some very big brands, managing media budgets from 6 to 7 figures, put together digital projects for brands like Under Armour and Asics. In my free time in small business freelancing, I've managed budgets from brands spending their first $1,000 to $10,000 a month. And currently, I run a performance marketing agency called Interlace Digital, where me and my team actively manage ads for over 20 brands, most of which are e-commerce brands and specifically Shopify brands, where we are leveraging paid ads, creative, and some other channels like email and SEO to help them grow their online store. This is a quick look at our team. Everything that we do is built around finding winning ads, again, helping brands break new revenue thresholds and helping them hit record sales in their business. And we don't say that to just throw that number out there. We truly want to help e-commerce founders and their teams hit new levels in their online store, which can be easier said than done. And we take our experience from all these different brands to help founders learn and try new things and use our insights to, propel their brand forward. We know e-commerce is a very tricky industry to navigate. So the more we can do to help them, the better. So to no surprise, what we're going to talk about here is paid ads. And we're going to dive into one channel in particular. But first, I just want to give a couple frameworks for ads, how we think about paid media and how they should be thought about by your brand as you continue to get new customers and drive more sales. So a couple myths to get out of the way quickly are that paid media is not just for quick sales and short-term growth. Can it do that? Absolutely. And do we love to see early wins for our brand when we do launch new ads? 100%. But that being said, paid media is meant to be and should be thought of as a scalable and sustainable solution for acquiring new customers consistently and driving sales. It's arguably one of the most powerful in doing that. And the other thing is, no, it is not a magic money maker. Quite the opposite. You could lose a lot of money in paid ads if you're not doing it properly. So again, we're going to talk about that in this training. I'm going to show you how to think about that and how to understand if you're running ads the right way and what is a winning ad and what is criteria for you to scale an ad if it's actually working. So coming out of this, paid media should be a channel that we look at on a month-to-month basis to drive a portion of our growth. And it is a great channel for that. Don't just think of it as a quick win or something you're going to be able to turn on and get sales very easily. Most other channels, that's not the case. But we are going to show you how we increase our odds of success as we go through this right here. So what are paid ads in their true nature? All it is guaranteed distribution. We can tell, hey, Zuckerberg, take my money. I made this video or these images, and I want you to promote this to the audience of my choice, or who you believe is most likely to buy my product, and put this out there. There's no other channel that you can, guarantee a certain level of a reach or potentially conversions in this way. But that's all paid ads are, meaning that we need to focus on what we're actually putting out, who we're speaking to, and there are not a lot of magic, tactics within your ad account or a campaign structure that you can use or little hacks that are going to drive performance. Now, there are things and best practices for how to run ads on certain channels, but at the end of the day, Paid ads are just guaranteed distribution of the creative that you make, and whatever message or offer it is that you're actually putting out there in the world. So don't complicate that. That's all these channels are for us, whether it's Google, it's Meta, or any of the other popular platforms. All we're doing is paying for the distribution of our content. So what are the advantages to paid ads? Number one is the speed to learn. We can find out within days or weeks if we have a piece of creative, a message, a product, or an offer that is really working. And we can also see what's not working. So yes, we're going to spend into it. Yes, we're putting resources into it, but we can learn very quickly. And that speed is something you won't get on other channels like organic and things like that. So that's absolutely one of the advantages. That also ties directly into creative performance. So whatever we develop in terms of visual assets or copy and headlines and offers can all be tested in our ad creative, and we can assign data back to that. We can understand, hey, which hook or headline is actually driving the most conversions, and let's go make more like that. So again, that ability to get our content distributed, learn quickly, and use that to understand creative performance is probably one of the most valuable pieces of running paid ads. And lastly is control. This is a channel where we know our inputs and we can see our outputs very clearly. There are a lot of tools to help us do that as well. So again, unlike other channels where you're kind of at the mercy of the algorithm, I put out this reel, it's up to the people to decide if this gets 1,000 views or 100,000 views. With paid ads, we can spend into that. If the metrics are looking good, we can make sure we drive a certain amount of traffic off that. We can make sure we get a certain amount of impressions, reach, or views, and decide which ads are going to get that visibility based on what's performing. And of course, we want to correlate that all back to conversion metrics in terms of sales, or if you're a different type of business in terms of lead generation. So this is what paid media offers to us if we can get it to work the right way. Now, before you start, I am not going to tell you or show you how to set up a campaign specifically in this training. I'm, again, going to work around frameworks and focusing on developing ads that are high converting. So if you are going to start paid ads, these are just a couple things that I believe are, non-negotiable. These need to be in place. So number one is certainly conversion tracking. If you have to pay someone to do this, doesn't matter, get an expert. Make sure that your pixel is set up properly on your store. If you're using Shopify, this is a much easier process because it integrates directly. But make sure you have that data. Make sure you also know where you're going to report on that data. It's definitely helpful to have a third-party tool like TripleWell or something like that that is going to give you additional attribution data. So do your research on this. Pay a consultant if you have to, but make sure your conversion tracking is set up right. And we want to know that our ad accounts are tracking purchases, we can see the value, and our events are coming in properly. If you're doing lead generation, it needs to be the same thing. Which forms are being tracked, all of our data in there. We need to make sure that's accurate and coming into a place where we can look at it easily in the ad accounts and hopefully, in a third-party reporting tool as well, which we'll go through in this presentations. Second is financial planning. What can we spend? What are we expecting to get out of it? And let's set our KPIs. What kind of sales are we trying to get to? How many orders are we trying to get in a month? What is our acquisition cost? So we're going to talk through some of these things as we go on here. And then lastly, I think this is important in terms of thinking about product market fit. A lot of founders are biased and believe that their product is, the next best thing. There's nothing like it on the market. But organic sales, there's no way to hide it. You can't force it. So whether that's through events, through social, through referrals, through affiliate, I encourage brands to have existing organic sales and prove out that product market fit before you go spend a bunch of money. Now, you could launch ads without having a single sale. That's totally fine. Just know that it's going to take you a bit more time to figure out what messaging works and what people like or don't like about your product. So that feedback loop is going to be a little bit longer, as opposed to you getting in person with some people or working directly and getting some of those first customers and getting those orders in. If you can get that sorted and get some of that customer insight and feedback and validation in your product, it's just going to make ads even easier, and it's going to give you something to build off of in terms of a foundation for, hey, here's what customers love about us. Here's maybe our product that we know is our best seller, all of that good stuff. And yeah, organic could go along with paid. It's not an either or. So, top channel for growth. This may or may not be what you expect. So, we have some data from Triple Whale, which is arguably the most popular reporting and attribution tool for e-commerce brands in particular. And this is from 2024 from over 30,000 brands that use their tool. This is a direct report on their spend last year. As you can see, Meta is the outright leader with over $7 billion spent on Meta ads for these e-commerce brands. And a not so close second is Google with 2.8 billion in spend. So we're going to talk about Meta today. We're going to talk about how to develop winning ads on Meta. And we're going to talk a little bit about the difference between paid search and paid social. Why are brands spending this much on Meta? What is the opportunity there? And, I think some people or businesses are always like, well, my customer's not really on Facebook. And I would just encourage you to throw that opinion out the window. I guarantee your customers are there and available, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram. Meta ads are going to help you reach them, and they convert. And if it wasn't working at this level, you wouldn't have brands spending this much money. And these are massive, 7, 8, 9-figure brands that are spending, in a lot of cases, 6 to 7 figures per month on Meta. So when you understand the scale of that, it helps you maybe realize the opportunity on this platform and why it is such a crucial piece of growing sales and acquiring customers. So I guess, again, to touch on paid search versus paid social, why are they spending so much on Meta? So when we think about paid search in terms of Google Ads, you are in a competitive auction. Users are searching intent based, meaning they already know what they're looking for in most cases. I'm looking for a brown leather men's boot in a size 10. I'm trying to figure out what brand I want. I am there. I am already in a decision making phase or consideration phase, and I'm assessing my options. I'm ready to buy. And there's limited real estate on paid search. You are bidding for that top, 20% of the Google search page, whether that's in the shopping carousel, the search results, all of it. So it is a premium placement for sure. It can be a very high converting ad type, but it is also very competitive. It comes with the price tag because of the level of intent and a quality that you can unlock on Google. So out of the 20 brands that we manage, everyone runs Google. So that's not the point to say that we're not putting down Google Ads. Google Ads are a massive opportunity, and even into other search platforms like Bing and Microsoft. Some large brands even spend on those secondary search engines. And then you have AI entering the market, which I'm sure at some point will be a type of search ad showing up in a ChatGPT result. So this is what paid search is, and it has its place. Now, if we talk about paid social, this is a bit different. Paid social is truly a level playing field. You do have a lot of competition out there. There is a lot of content, but we're not trying to rank anywhere. We have the ability to put out a video or an image that we feel is compelling to our, target audience or target consumer, and interest them enough to take action, to click through, view our product, view our store. And it can be instantaneous. You could put out a very high level ad or engaging piece of ad creative and get interest very early on. And again, we're not trying to rank here. We're not fighting for a search result. We are just putting ourselves out in the feed, in stories, in reels. And if we can have a message that cuts through deep enough, that is where we can acquire customers and get people to get interested in our brand. And that is how people consume content on social. They are consuming content that they are interested in, that aligns with their interest outside of maybe what they're searching for or what you may have gotten them to click on. They're just, casually consuming content. And that's kind of a nice place to be. Selfishly as a brand, those consumers are in a casual environment that they could be intrigued to buy. They're just, again, searching based on their interests. So if you come across and can have that message, you can kind of fit in and align with them, there's a good chance that they'll want to click through and learn more about what you have to offer. So in terms of Meta, I think you could break this down in terms of pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. In the golden age of Facebook ads, this would be back in like 2017. You can do very detailed audience targeting. you could kind of throw out whatever ad, and if it was going towards the right audience, you could layer in interest audience and demographics and everything, which are all still there and available. They don't quite work the way they used to. You used to really be able to, set up these campaigns and just put an ad out there and get results. And people got into really complex campaign structures and a lot of manual optimization, all these deeply layered audiences. And it was great. It was an era where a lot of brands made a lot of money, and Facebook worked, a certain type of way, probably easier than it does now. And if you look at it now, ever since iOS 14 privacy changes and the continuous updates to Meta's algorithm and their ad platform, and now with all their AI optimizations, it's just a different ballgame. But the same opportunity is still there. So now what you see in most accounts is broad targeting. We're not doing deeply layered interests unless you're a very niche category of product, or trying to get into a very tight geographic area with your product or service. So not to say there can't be detailed targeting, but a lot of people are using broader targeting. And Meta has so much data on all of its users at this point that if you use their Advantage Plus audiences or Advantage Plus shopping campaigns, Facebook does a very good job of going and finding your customers for you, especially if you have good pixel data, you have good purchase history in your account. Meta can really do the heavy lifting, which means you can focus on very simple campaign structures and everything comes down to your ad creative. If you want to look at a couple brands that do this at a very high level, Ridge Wallets, Breeze, which is a new age social tonic with THC and mushroom ingredients. So they're in the kind of THC seltzer space. They're very transparent about their run. And Gruns, which is in the health and supplement space. All of these brands, if you go look at their Facebook ad library, you will see a masterclass on creative testing, ad creative, and messaging around their product to a particular consumer. So if you need some inspiration, these are just a few of the brands that you could take a look at. That'll just show you again what you're capable of when it comes to meta ads. So the big takeaway here is that creative drives performance. This is not so much about, and even as a media buyer, my ideas have changed on this. It used to be about tactics. It used to be about how I set up an account. And this has really changed over to using Meta's tools, using their AI optimization, and focusing deeply on quality of creative, variety of creative, and crafting a message that is compelling enough to attract your target consumer. And the whole thing here is you are literally one winning ad away from transforming your business. And I say this from experience, seeing this through clients, even having used ads for our agency in a very similar way. You can launch an ad, and if you have that messaging and creative tailored enough, you're going to get in front of the people that you want to and get them to take action. So we're going to go through this. We're going to go through some ads, but the goal here is to continue testing, continue refining what you're putting into your ad account, and just know that you will find an ad that far outperforms all of the other ads that are running in your account, and you can increase your success at finding these winning ads as well. So what is a winning ad? A winning ad is what I would refer to as high impact creative, high click through rate, good CPMs. It's a very engaging and relevant ad for the people that you are targeting. And Facebook will reward you for this with better performance. So if you have a strong piece of creative, it's a great piece of content that people actually enjoy, your performance will be better. That's very straightforward. Number two is that this ad is performing at a level that is profitable for your business when it comes to acquiring customers. And we're going to go through the math of that in kind of a simple way, how you can look at that. So there's actual metrics we need to hit that shows me, hey, this ad is truly a winner. And if you get those two paired together, you will see drastic increases in sales, drastic increases in the amount of customers you get to your store and how they convert. And this will help you break through new revenue barriers. If you're doing 10K a month, this is how you're going to get to 25K a month. If you're doing 25K a month, this is how you're going to get to 50, 100, or scale to even maybe 7 figures a month. So that's, again, what this platform offers. And it comes down to finding the ads and the format and the right combination that works for you and your customers. So this is a quick little exercise we're going to go through. I have 3 ads. And this is for a brand that we actually took from scratch, launching their Shopify store and helping them hit their first 25K month within 70 days, roughly. So I want you to take a look. Out of these three ads, we have a founder image with a simple headline. We have what we would call as a feature call out in ad number 2, which kind of shows you all the different little aspects of this product. And then number 3, I'm not going to play through this, but this is a well-produced product highlight video that shows the product in use by the consumer. Great lighting, great production. We did a 1-day shoot. We really put our time into it. So I want you to quickly look at these and decide which out of the 3 drove the most sales. And there was one that significantly drove more purchases than the others. Okay, if you've got your choice, I'm going to reframe this for you really quick. Which ad makes you want to click the most? So I want you to look at these again, not think about what maybe drove sales from a customer standpoint, but if you look at these 3 ads, which one actually intrigues you most to just click? I just want to click and figure out what this ad is actually showing me. Okay. Now, if you think about the actual objective of any digital ad, there's only one objective, and that is to get you to click. You can't make a purchase in most cases right on that first interaction. We need to get them to click through and get to our landing page or get to a checkout. So what we're doing here is we need to be, again, compelling enough just to get them to take the next step. So if you select ad number 3, you are incorrect. If you selected ad number 2, you're also incorrect. The winner here is actually ad number 1. So if we look at this ad for a couple of reasons, one, it doesn't even show the product, which is kind of fascinating, but even more reason why someone would want to click. And then we also added this kind of FOMO effect, fear of missing out into what this product is. With the headline, this garden cart is going viral after founders invent a new outdoor tool. Okay, so it's a new outdoor tool I don't know about. If I like to garden, I should check this out at least. And it's going viral. It sounds like other people are really enjoying this. So why don't I know about it yet? We even tried some other copy in this ad saying, hey, this tool is popping up at home shows around the US, around the country. And that's what the founders were doing at the time. They were actually going and visiting different trade shows and home shows. So this ad, in the first few months working on this brand, drove a 4x return on ad spend with a cost per acquisition of $67 on an average order value of $259. So this was profitable for the founders. They could spend into this, and the performance they got from this ad on top of some of the organic sales they were getting from their event activity was substantial and drove a 400% increase in their monthly revenue. So how can you create and find winning ads like the one that we just looked at? Step 1 is we need to understand our numbers. And this is understanding basically your P&L, your margin in your business and on specific products, and how that's going to correlate to your Facebook ads. So a couple metrics we want to look at. Return on ad spend, obviously, is a very popular one in any ad account and one you're probably familiar with and have heard of. We do want to know our break-even return on ad spend and where we need to be above that. More importantly, we want to know our break-even for new customers. The goal here is to be first profitable on a first purchase. So if we can be first purchase profitable, that is the golden standard of ads. You could hypothetically continue spending into that campaign and you're never losing money. You're getting customers at a rate that are profitable for you even after the advertising expenses. So to do this, we need to know our cost per acquisition. We need to have a good understanding of our average order value. As you get deeper into this, you'd actually want to know, based on the price of every product, products will have different target acquisition costs. But for the sake of getting started, we're going to talk about average order value. And then lastly is marketing efficiency ratio. So in a world where it's very difficult to know if a customer came directly from a Google ad or directly from a Facebook ad or directly from, one of your organic channels, the reality is they probably hit multiple touch points before they bought. So instead of trying to pinpoint, hey, where did this customer come from exactly? How can I pinpoint this? Marketing efficiency ratio takes your total revenue divided by your total marketing spend, and it is meant to be a direct correlation of to show the effectiveness of our marketing dollars. So if we spend more on meta ads, does our overall revenue increase? If our ads are effective in bringing in new customers, there should be a strong trend between the two. As I increase my spend, I see increased sales volume. So that's what we're looking for when we discuss marketing efficiency ratio. So in a very quick exercise, we can just look at how we get to our break-even CPA, our break-even ROAS, and then maybe what we might actually set as our target CPA and target ROAS in our meta ad account to deem if an ad is a winner or not. So let's just do this again, kind of oversimplified, but it'll give you the framework, and you could go deeper into this. So our average order value is $75. Our cost of goods sold to produce that product and get it shipped is $25. And so our profit margin here is 50. So that profit margin is essentially our break-even CPA. If we're not looking at other OpEx and other expenses in the business, we're just looking at our cost of goods sold and our marketing expense. Our break-even cost per acquisition is $50. If we ran ads in Meta and we got $50 per purchase, that would essentially be a break-even. We're not making money, we're not losing money, but we're acquiring customers at a break-even, which is a great first place to be. So our break-even return on ad spend here is 1.5. Now, for our target CPA, obviously our goal is to be profitable. So we're actually going to cut that in half. Our target CPA that we want to aim for is $25. And our target ROAS here would be 3. If they're ordering something at $75 value, we get them for $25. That gives you our breakdown. These are now our targets here. These are our criteria as we launch ads. Anything that is at or below a $25 cost per purchase and at or above a 3 return on ad spend will be a winning ad in this account. So this is actually inside of one of our ad accounts. We use a tool called Atria, and we actually report based on metrics very similar to what I just showed you. In this case, a 2 return on ad spend is deemed as successful for the client, given their breakdown. They have a higher return customer rate as well. So they can be a little bit more aggressive on their acquisition cost, and they don't need as high of a return on ad spend to make this work. Although we're always aiming to improve that. So in this case, we give Atria the data. Anything at or above a 2 return on ad spend is a winning ad. And Atria has a radar report, connects to your ad account, brings in all your different ad creatives, and it'll tell you how well they are performing and if there's any that maybe are high potential. So we have 2 at the top here, 2 of our videos, a couple different variations that we've tried, and 2 of them are performing at or above our target return on ad spend. So the goal here would be to increase spend on those ads, maybe trying to identify what exactly is working in that script or that hook, the content of the video ad, and go make more like that as well. And then below we have high iteration potential. So these are just below our performance metrics, but they're really close and they're doing well. So now we can go back to our design team and say, hey, these 3 ads actually did pretty well. Can we try and tweak something in the hook or the visual, or take another stab at this one and see if we can get it to be another winner as well? So this is what this looks like when we analyze our ads. And now that we have our metrics, we can decide if it is a winner or not. So step 2 here, as you can imagine, is actually creating the ad itself. So let's go into how we build a winning ad. So anytime you are creating ads, it really needs to be done with this mindset of what's in it for me, putting yourself in the shoes of the consumer. So whatever product you're selling, the target customer that you want to buy, put yourself in their mind, put yourself in their shoes, and what is it that actually drives them to purchase? Very rarely is it specific features in your product or the materials you use or the process you use to make it. And brands love to talk about all the proprietary things about their product, everything that makes their product great, which is valuable. But when you're first going to engage a customer, they're really just looking at, what is this going to do for me? I don't even know what this is yet. I need to know, why do I need this product in my life? Is it going to solve a problem for me? Is it going to get me to a place I'm trying to go, whether that's my health, my wealth, things like that. We need to understand truly what drives them as humans, the psychology behind it, and triggers them to be interested. So these can be strong emotional triggers based on the content. We're trying to actually evoke emotion in the headline we're using. We're trying to stir that up in them and get their attention so that they can look at that. So we want to be a little polarizing, and we want to focus on how are we making them feel emotionally when they see this. A lot of times, might see this in the health and wellness space. a current versus desired state. So, hey, here's what you're gonna look like in the next 3 months if you start taking this supplement, right? That's a category that is famous for before and after. And you can do that with any product. Hey, this is gonna make your life easier. This is gonna help you get more work done in a shorter amount of time. So you're actually gonna be the person you want to be a month from now because you start using this product. It doesn't even matter what the product is. If I know that now this is changing my life, it's changing the way I operate, changing who I can be or who I can become. Now we're tapping into why a consumer actually, makes that buying decision. We can introduce new problems and solutions that they're maybe not aware of yet. Hey, you're experiencing this and you think it's because this problem. I'm here to tell you it's actually because of this thing, and we've developed a product that's going to fix it for you right now. So, common problems that they might be experiencing in life, challenges they're trying to overcome, and then showing them solution that you've developed that's going to solve that for them. And then last one is outcomes over features. Kind of what we just talked through. Yes, showing off features. We showed it in one of those previous ad examples. That can be good, especially if they are, maybe deciding which product they want to buy. Okay, now we're looking at features and specifications. But if we're getting new customers and they're just starting to learn about our brand, then we need to focus on the outcomes. So what is going to be different about my life? How is this product going to impact me in a positive way? Focus on that outcome first and talk about that. Display it in your ad. In terms of creative testing, once we, coming out of that first exercise there, what is the message we want to get across? Okay, now we can apply this in different ad formats, whether that's a short form video or an image or a graphic or an animation. We can make all sorts of types of ads. We can focus on the visual asset, the actual video clip, the photo, or what product, might be in that photo. One of the easiest places to test is your headline or your hook. So our headline is going to be our primary text right in our image, and the hook is going to be the first 3 seconds in a video ad. So that is the very first thing that they see, hear, or read. And again, we want that to kind of strike an emotion in them so that they want to watch the rest of the ad or they want to read through what we're saying and click through. And then lastly, actually testing the product itself. You will find in your product catalog, assuming you have more than one product, you will find what we refer to as a hero product or multiple hero products. And these are often, if you're an existing brand, this is your best seller, something that sells really well. That's exactly where we'd want to start with our ads. If it already sells well, then it's probably going to convert well in an ad. So if you have existing sales data, focus on your best sellers. If you are a new brand just launching, just know that you might have to do a little testing with your products, and you will identify a few SKUs that just really seem to resonate with your customer audience, and they tend to buy first and they buy regularly, and that's a great thing to uncover. Most brands, are aiming for that. So just know that you will have a few products that just convert really well. In terms of how this might look in your Meta ad account, I know we weren't going to talk through how to set this up. This is kind of how we go about it. So one primary purchase campaign, one ad set per concept, and then if we have that concept, we can make 3 versions of that ad. And then we can do the same in a new ad set, a new concept, 3 versions of that ad and that message. So now we have a campaign for purchases that is testing different customer angles at the ad set level and a couple different variations of that message being put out there. So we're, again, increasing our chances to find a winning combination. So come up with a concept or a core messaging angle and develop 3 ad variations within that. And I'll show you what this looks like for a client of ours. If you watch YouTube and you're looking at other experts, Nick Terrio does a great job of this and has really helped build out this framework, I believe, for a lot of people in the e-com space, and has been something that I've used for inspiration in terms of how we build out ads now as well. So shout out Nick. Okay, so this is one of our brands called Oxford Pennant. They make these really fun flags and pennants that you can see that are a great interior design item for different spaces in your house, your office, things like that. So the angle here was decor for any space and helping customers visualize how this product is actually going to look in their home, in their office, whatever it might be. So instantly they can see how this product exists in their life. And then we're using some headlines and photos to just test a couple versions here. So one thing missing from your kid's room, make it theirs and get something personalized for them. From a work from home standpoint or home or even in your normal office, 9 to 5 office, give your office some personality. And this is a place where people love to customize their workspace. Well, now a pennant maybe is a great option. And your space is missing something, make it yours. So again, we're talking about personalization and something new in your space, especially if people are looking to update their decor. This is an option now that they can consider. Concept number two, one of the more popular ways people use these pennants and flags now is to commemorate a special moment like a wedding or a special event like that. So we capitalize on this with a fun headline, memories are meant to be felt. And then we have some different applications here showing the pennants or flags used in these lifestyle moments. Out of these first two concepts, concept number one has actually performed better in their ad account so far. Maybe it's a bit more straightforward and direct and shows product in use, where this one is a little bit more, lifestyle focused. But still, another angle here and another reason why someone would buy. If you're planning a wedding right now and you're looking for something that's just going to make it a little bit special, it's going to look great in your photos, and it's a keepsake for you now, well, here's an option that you maybe not have considered, and we're helping introduce that. And then lastly, in a short form video version, this is actually the same video we made for this sticker company, where they had a great deal for ordering your first round of custom stickers. And we took the same, 15 to 30-second video, and all we changed was the hook. We changed that first 3 seconds and the text in that first 3 seconds. So you can see here a few different hooks that we used. The best $25 I've ever spent. I found the best website for custom stickers. POV, you just found the best custom stickers for $25. So we're introducing their new customer offer, which is a very approachable price point, and we're letting them know, hey, there's a custom stickers website that you don't know about that's really quality, and you need to check it out. So again, now we're getting more assets out of one, one creative ad creative. So as we do these different hooks, these different headlines, it's a very easy way to get more assets to test in your account. So lastly here, we understand our numbers, we've developed our ads, we're ready to go test. We just have to understand performance. So if an ad is not performing or it is performing, it's always going to be from one of these three areas. We have our ads, which is going to be the angle or the concept, the actual visual assets, the copy, and the audience we're targeting. We have our destination, which is going to be what URL are we sending them to, a personalized landing page, a product page, or a home page, and what's on that page when they get there in terms of copy, content, and social proof. And then offer, this is how our product is priced, how we're positioned, any incentives or additional value we can give them to check out now. These are the three areas that actually build out a high converting ad. And the good thing, each of these components of the funnel can be directly assigned to metrics as well. So for ads, we want to look at CPM and click-through rate. For our destination, we want to see maybe cost per landing page view or content views, and then our add to cart percent. And then for offer, we want to see how that's leading into actual conversion rate and total sales. So they're getting to checkout and they're actually making the purchase. Excuse me. A good rule here is what I call the rule of two. So if you have over a 2% click-through rate, you have over a 2 return on ad spend, and you have higher than a 2% conversion rate on your store, this is a great place to start. This may not be quote unquote, profitable for every single brand, but if you're getting twos across the board in your funnel like this, and you're hitting these metrics on a specific ad campaign, that's a very good indicator that you have a strong message, offer, and probably on your way to a winning variation. And in some cases, this might even be producing profitable results. So as you get into this, you want to keep it simple. Again, if you're looking for twos in these three places, you probably have the beginning of a very strong ad campaign. So a couple helpful tools you can use as we've gone through this here. As I mentioned, Atria is one that we use right now for creative insights and analytics. So you can actually view ads from other brands. You can create boards for ad inspiration, and you can connect up to 5 ad accounts to take a look at those creative analytics that I showed in that example. If you need help designing high converting ads, Creative OS is an awesome platform. It is basically a bunch of pre-built design templates that with one click you can move into Canva or into Figma, and you can very easily customize for your brand and then export them and start using those ads. So it saves you a bunch of time on ad design, And there's also email and landing page design templates in there as well. So if you need to create a high converting funnel, Creative OS gives you, it's kind of like a cheat code. And then lastly, for reporting in terms of multi-touch attribution, these are two multi-touch attribution tools. Ad Beacon is built a little bit more for agencies. That's what we use currently at Interlace. Its pricing is more conducive to agencies and having multiple clients on the platform. And then Triple L, an awesome tool. There's a free Founders Dash that you can connect to your Shopify store. It's a great multi-touch attribution tool. Again, this is going to give you better data on where your customers are actually coming from and how they may or may not be converting between Facebook or Google or any of your main marketing channels. And last thing here, if you would like to dive into this for yourself, you want to go through this on a deeper level with me, I would love to help you. You can actually claim your free winning ad strategy with me. We'll do a one-on-one founder call. I will also take a look at your Meta account, and my team will help you design a one fresh ad concept similar to what we showed for those other brands there to help you get started. So if you go to Interlace Digital ColorCode, you can have there's a link to my calendar right there. You can reserve your spot. I look forward to speaking with you, and I hope you found this training helpful, and I hope it helps you grow your e-com sales in 2025. I appreciate for listening. Please go ahead, click the link, get your winning ad strategy, and let's get off to a good start before we get into Q3 and Q4.